We now come to a logical conclusion of this chapter. Since we have divided the meditation body into the three components of the physical body, mind, and soul, shouldn't we be able to categorize all the existing meditation techniques into them? It follows that if this model of the meditation body is true, then we should be able to at least logically classify these meditation techniques into one of the boxes. Now, the objective is not only to classify and to box them, but it is to also minimize the noise. I call it noise because there are so many meditation techniques and people are getting confused. In this chapter, I have listed only 20 meditation techniques that are popular, but there are thousands of them, and if we do not have some kind of classification, then it's very difficult to make sense of them. Again, just having a way to box them won't be enough. There must be an objective why they are boxed, and why we should see them as a group instead of as individual standalone techniques. The objective of this classification, as you can see in the diagram, is to help you navigate through the many techniques that will be pitched at you as you enter your journey into the quest to find the perfect meditation technique for yourself. So, in the diagram, there are again 6 repetitions of the same meditation block that we talked about earlier. The only difference between the earlier ones and this one is that now we have a orange star. This one represents a meditation technique. So you can see that some meditation technique would be body based. Then in the second one, you can see that some meditation techniques would be body mind based. You can notice that the star is touching both the body and mind in the diagram. Then in the third diagram, you will notice that the star touches the soul and the mind, and thus this represents the mind and soul meditation. The fourth one is the purely mind-based meditation. It is followed by the purely soul-based meditation. And the fifth one, as you can see a big star across all the three components, it is the body, mind, soul-based meditation. I will give you examples of each of the categories, taking the popular techniques nowadays. However, you must remember that meditation techniques in each of them is not limited to what I'll be presenting in this book. There are many more, and many more can be created as per required. Each of the technique, even though are different than the other ones, using each particular technique, we can devise even more different techniques, but using the overall principle of that main parent technique, you can call it. And even the child technique, if you call it that way, would be very different from the parent technique, and thus it would be a separate technique on its own. However, it would fit in the original category. I have myself practiced all the various techniques in all the different categories, as well as the techniques that I'll be describing to you later on with my own personal example. I did not want to give you some copy paste from Google explanation for each of the techniques, because you can do that yourself. Instead, I will give you my own personal experience about that technique. Ultimately, this section leads to the next chapter, whereby I will actually teach you a unified meditation as a technique. You will notice that is mostly a soul based technique. However, it's difficult to reach there directly, and I recommend that you would try at least some of the techniques that you will learn about in this subsection before you try out unified meditation. However, since you have already got hold of this book and you might not be practicing some kind of meditation already, then after reading this book, you will be recommended towards the end certain meditation techniques to achieve certain steps that is required to again achieve unified meditation practice. Well, enough of background. Now let's go directly into the meat of this subsection. You will notice the diagram on your right and below. It describes how the various meditation techniques that you can find across on the internet are tagged or linked to one of the six categories that I have earlier described. So, as promised, let me describe to you each of them in a very um, personalized and short manner so that you get the gist. Then later on in the next chapters, you learn more about unified meditation and even more about the different techniques that you will require to achieve that particular state. So the first one is body-based meditation. It is so called because in this meditation, even though you'll recall that for meditation to occur, the identification or the eye must touch the soul at least. Some meditation techniques make more use of the body than others. The objectives could be varied, but again, it has to do something with the 13 components of consciousness. And I will talk in the respective meditation techniques which of the components is affected also. So let's begin. Hatha yoga is a very popular word. People confuse it with an exercise, but it is a meditation. You can do it as an exercise, but that won't be that effective. Moreover, it won't burn enough calories. So all you need to do is to identify with your soul as you practice the various poses of yoga. I practiced yoga towards the beginning of my meditation itself because I had some difficulty in sitting straight and folding my legs. This was hampering my posture during meditation. Later on, I practiced yoga because I felt that there was some blocks in my pranic system as I was sitting in meditation. I could feel that the energy that was supposed to go higher couldn't go. So I practiced various poses that would help me unblock that particular area of the body at the pranic level, and it works. Later on, I stopped doing yoga because the problems of my posture was fixed, as well as the blocks that had to be removed by some physical exercise were now unblocked. You can make walking into meditation again by minimizing your physical awareness, that is being less bothered around about what surrounds you, then by increasing your connection with your soul. At first you might not understand what this connection means, so in order to practice walking meditation you would require to do other meditations first in order to taste what this connection feels like. Once you know that you have established connection with your soul, then walking becomes meditation. The mind thinks in a certain rhythm, and the soul can go very deep, but there is some soul work being done here. This is often called pranayama, just being aware of your breathing as it comes in, that is the air, and as it comes out. Your mind starts to vibrate at a lower frequency. It doesn't have to be the theta frequency, but it's definitely below the alpha frequency. At the beginning, I used to practice breath awareness a lot. It really helps to stay focused. Also, it helps to manage your emotions. Count up till 4 while you breathe in. Hold your breath until you count 7 and throw your breath until you count 8. This is a very important part of attaining mastery in meditation. I haven't mentioned it here, but this leads to eventually Kriya Yoga. Yes, the one that was taught to Yogananda in his autobiography book. It is the same technique that made Mahavatar Babaji what he is. I have myself practiced it, and because of my past life experience, I moved very fast, and eventually I was able to reach a state of breathlessness within 2 weeks. What happens at that stage in terms of the 13 components is that your thoughts, number one, feel totally stopped. And in terms of ESP, I started to hear the anahat sound, or the sound that is created without two objects striking one another. Again, these are meaningless and they are just transitory stages. And this leads to the ultimate transformation in the intelligence, which is the most important thing in any meditation. I tried to do bhajan or chanting, but it was not my cup of tea. It's too physical, and when I sing in the name of God, I lose the connection with my soul. So that's not a very good meditation for me. However, for some people who are good at singing, they could still possibly maintain the connection with the soul as they sing. Consequently, it would create a rhythm or harmony in them that would enable the control of the mind, making the thoughts balanced and the emotions subdued and controlled. The next set of meditation techniques involves both the mind and body in an extensive level. While in the earlier category, the body was more involved in this category, the mind will be equally involved, but the body is a very essential part of the meditation process. After you close your eyes, you are supposed to use your mind to focus on various parts of your body, and then you can look deeply into each part of the body. Again, it's a lot of imagination, but as I told you earlier, it's a very thin line between imagination and soul work. So it's a beginning of the real meditation. When I was young, I used to practice this a lot because when I was bored, I just would focus on various parts of the body, especially on a long bus drive. Now, all this helps the energy inside of you release itself and be normalized. Also, it leads to creativity being released, and this leads to new ideas. So, even though very simple and unrelated, the 13 components are going to evolve or grow easier when we practice this meditation, whereby our focus is on the various parts of the body. It worked for me. Quite similar to the body scan method, by willingly using your mind to command various parts of your body to relax shows the power of your soul also. I used to do that when I was tired and I was lying or sitting on a sofa. I close my eyes, connect to my soul, and then I just imagine that I'm getting some kind of massage, and my arms that are tired, I will just relax them, going down towards the chest, towards the legs, and then upwards. and this gives a great relaxation. Slowly, this leads to your increase in your extrasensory perception skills. This one is one of my favorite meditation technique. I practice it even nowadays. It's basically sleeping or taking a nap in the afternoon. However, you are connected with your soul. So basically, it's the intention that is required. Then another requirement is that you cannot just practice sleep meditation and being in a fetal position or lying on your anterior. You have to be in Shavasana or the dead corpse posture in Hatha Yoga. Alternatively, I do Yog Nidra in my armchair, which is the best position because it's the zero gravity position. In that state, you retain some kind of awareness and you're not totally asleep. So it's an extension of sitting meditation, but because your body is so relaxed, your experience is not as deep as in meditation, but it is much more relaxing. Also, it is much easier to reach the deep meditation state that I talked to you about earlier. The advantage is that it gives you immense relaxation. Moreover, in terms of the 13 components, it crystallizes your memories and increases your intelligence on a cumulative basis. I practice mantra meditation the full cycle, and many people are not able to do that and they get stuck in the lower levels. At the beginning, like everybody, I used a loud voice to repeat the meditation that I was given. By the way, at the beginning of my meditation, I practiced the Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare meditation. Sometimes I use the Om Namah Shivaya meditation mantra. However, it is irrelevant which mantra you use. What is important is the steps that you have to take in order to complete the full cycle of this particular mantra meditation. So listen carefully. So at first it was loud recitation. Then I used beats to keep my count. Then I recited silently with the voice of the mind. Later on, I was able to automate the recitation, meaning that the mantra recited it itself without my conscious effort. Now that's almost a complete cycle, but it doesn't end here. Finally, there is a silence, and in that silence, you are able to hear the essence of the meditation mantra, and that is the completion of the mantra meditation. At this point, when the mind and my whole being became silent, I knew that I had completed this particular meditation technique. So what this technique does for you in terms of the 13 components is that it helps to increase your spiritual sense of hearing. You are now able to hear sounds from deep within because you have somehow used the mantra to activate that particular sense. Of course, it has other benefits also, but for me, this is the main benefit I got. Some people are able to use the breathing techniques to fight the cold. I guess they did not know anything about air conditioning or the heating system. Anyways, it's possible by controlling your breath. You can increase your body temperature, and this is what this particular technique is about. I tried it out, but I didn't persevere on this one because I didn't see much benefit of heating myself when I could just simply use some warm clothes. The next category is the mind soul meditation, whereby the body is not that important. In noting meditation, the idea is to record your thoughts as you think them. So it's the meditation version of mind mapping. I talked about it earlier in my sharing of my experience on how I controlled my thoughts and looked at them as expanding universe, if you recall. So that's an example of noting meditation. It's very useful. The most important benefit in terms of the 13 components is that it increases your mental power and your thinking capacity, and also your ability to manage your feelings. It's almost impossible to have no thoughts. However, it's possible for a temporary short time, like a minute or two. Having a no mind state is like stopping your breathing. Doing this meditation is very important in order for you to quieten your mind. Combined with the other earlier techniques, slowly the no mind state will increase in length. Even though it's very difficult not to have a single thought, you will be able to stay with a single thought over a longer period of time, that also of your choosing. And the most important thing about this no mind state is that it's a state whereby you can receive communication from the spiritual world, because your mind is empty at that time. So it's very important to practice, and I practice that especially when I am confused and lost. I receive the messages much easier in that state. Sometimes meditation is about deep thinking. So in insight meditation, you're just supposed to think and figure out a creative way out to the current problem that we are facing. Nowadays, I practice the no mind state more to find a creative solution. But in the earlier days, I used to do a lot of insight meditation in order to get to a solution. So the idea is just to think in all directions and in a progressive, systematic way. Eventually, because you are connected to the soul, an inspiration would come, and a eureka moment would come within a particular meditation session if you are able to follow through the whole allotted time. This is because even the gods follow some kind of timetable. If you say that you're going to meditate for 1 hour, then they will plan accordingly, and they will send you the message towards the end. However, if you drop at the 15th minute, then that's not going to happen. This category is a pure mind based meditation. Although I could have combined the earlier one and this particular category together, I decided to separate them because of a consistency problem that I would have in my own framework. So that's cheating, you can say. Nonetheless, even if I have to stretch my logic, I would say that in the earlier section, there was a need for soul activity, while in this particular section, the soul activity is very little and there is much more mind activity. However, I do not want you to dwell on those small variations that I had to create in order to make a consistency in my framework. Mindfulness is a very common technique. It's just about being aware of the present, of the now. It's what we call smelling the roses as we walk. I practice that a lot. You can practice that while you are walking also. But when you are sitting and doing meditation, being mindful is about honoring your memories and your thoughts. Don't be angry. Do not have negative attitude while you meditate. I used to practice this when I was very young because it would help me curb my negative thinking and my youthful anger. Even though you hate doing push-ups, you still need to do push-ups if you're into sports. Similarly, you have to practice focused attention if you want to get better in meditation. Some people focus on a candlelight, while others focus on a thought, an image, or a sound. Myself, I didn't prefer to focus on external objects, but I used to focus on a particular image usually, and then I used to retain that image for as long as I could before it was disrupted by some other thoughts or feelings. This increases the muscles of your mind And focus is like any other muscle. The more you practice it, the stronger it becomes. Again, if you overwork it, you'll get cramps, or it will fail. This one is quite similar to mindfulness, but it is about focusing on a quality. So it's like the focus attention, but on a particular quality. The quality here is loving kindness. Myself, I practiced it by first focusing on that particular word, then what it means, the images associated with it. So it would be me who was first very angry and imagining to do bad things to the people who wronged me. Then I would focus on the word loving kindness. Thereby, my feelings would become more smooth, more calm, and the imagery would change into me being a forgiving person to to that wrongdoer. Slowly, I would develop empathic feelings and try to understand why they did what they did to me. And in this way, I would forgive in my mind. Then, when I wake up, I feel that I have forgiven, and there is no more anger, and there's only loving kindness in me. So, this is how it works. Compassion meditation is the same as above, only the quality is different, which is now a compassion. So, I focus on some external object or person, and then I feel compassion towards them. At first, I am blocked by my indifference towards that object or that person, and then slowly, because of the word compassion, I feel concern, and then I feel that I wish I could do something for that person. Then, in the imagination, I just do it, and slowly the compassion quality increases. And then, in the waking state, after you come out of meditation, you feel like doing good towards humanity more. Affirmation meditation is very much like the mantra meditation, but here we use qualities like I am a winner, I am good. It is very useful technique, especially when you are feeling down and low. It is even best when other people call you names like you're a loser, you can't do anything. So by meditating using this technique, you override the negative voices in you, and this increases your confidence back. It has an amazing effect on your pranic system because the system straightens itself if it was twisted by the earlier negative comments of people or events. So, whenever I feel bad, I sit down in meditation and I repeat my own affirmations. It works wonderfully, and you wake up refreshed and at peace with yourself. It's not just your imagination, because of your mind, your brain wiring also changes. You can say this is very similar to neurolinguistic programming principles or NLP. Finally, we come towards the end, and I'll go directly to the technique, which is called the chakra meditation, which I have classified into a soul-based meditation. Most of the meditation technique that I'll be teaching later on are soul-based. And chakra meditation is about using your soul, or at least imagining that you're using your soul to activate the various chakras in your body. As we discussed earlier, they are the centers of consciousness, or COCs, and they are located in mainly seven areas of the upper body. I used to practice by concentrating on various of the chakras or COCs at different points of my life. For example, when I was needing to find a job and start a business and be competitive, I used to focus on the stomach chakra. Then, when I needed to find great ideas and be very creative, I used to focus on the sixth chakra, that is the one between your two eyebrows. So each chakra and meditation or COCs had a particular effect on my behavior and thinking. Eventually, this helped um, other aspects of the 13 components, like the intelligence and the various ESPs also. Finally, we have the Tantra. It's a very vast meditation technique. I practiced many forms of Tantra using yantras, which are nothing explicit, but they are shapes, mainly triangles, rectangles, circles, pentagrams, or hexagrams, etc. And this signify various aspects of your thought. And then you supposed to concentrate on each of them and channel your thinking using that particular yantra. Also, you would use mantras that you devise on the go, and the whole process is called tantra. So we have this word triad like yantra, mantra, tantra, and it involves all the aspects of the body, mind, and soul. So I end this chapter here, and now in the next chapter we'll learn about how to practice unified meditation